So I just want to jump right in. First of all, the movie's fantastic, and your characters have such a fascinating and complex, and I know it's a reductive word, but interesting relationship on so many levels. Like, tell me about, just as actors, when you're getting into these characters who have this responsibility to make decisions without cracking. What is that like? I don't even know what you would compare it to. How do you get into that level?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and congratulations on the use of reductive. Pretty extraordinary. It's an interesting challenge, but these characters are definitely complex people, and to play them, I think it's just trying to figure out where the humanity is in them. And, my guy shuts his off. Julia's character eventually probably shuts hers off to some extent. I think what's interesting is just you keep thinking you're going to see something human in them at some point, and you see a lot more of it in Jordan, the doctor that Julia's playing. But my guy is just he's confusing, difficult, because he has shut down a lot of his humanity in order to proceed on this course in his life, and it's to save people at the same time. So it's filled with complications and contradictions, and it was deeply satisfying to play in a weird way because it was so confusing and so heartrending. I mean, it really broke my heart to play him sometimes. I thought, what a sad thing.
Actually, kind of building off that, and I promise, Julia, I will get to you in one moment.
Don't worry, I'm happy. I'm content. Don't worry.
But your character has his armor in the form of the first thing I noticed when I saw the poster, which is the hair. And when it comes off, there is that vulnerability. No one's there, but that's when he lets himself expose the vulnerabilities that he has that I won't spoil for the viewer.
Right.
But
thank you. Yeah. No, he does. As his clock is running out, he does get a little closer to allowing her into him in some way. But that's their special relationship. I mean, it's a tortured relationship, obviously. But yeah, he does drop it a bit. He's pretty blunt throughout it. That's his thing, because he doesn't see there's much use in doing anything else. He doesn't really see any real percentages in misrepresenting anything to anyone. But he uses it as a guard too, because for instance, toward his last scene when he just says, "Well," and he's about to have that magnificent human moment, and then he just sort of goes back to, "Well, I'd be willing to find some money for this situation or whatever," and so he retreats back to a place that's less human at that point.
Totally.
To protect himself, I suppose.
I kind of related to that. Is there anything in your life for both of you that is like that piece of armor, that trinket, the alligator shoes, or that, in that character's case, the hair, that makes you stand up straighter than you otherwise would?
I think whether for better or worse, I don't think I go through life with an armor. I mean, that's part of being an actor, right? Is like you have to be open and emotionally available when you go to work. So I don't think, especially more and more, I don't think I go through with an armor, despite, right? I mean, you're talking about something that's like protective.
Yeah.
Maybe I should work on that.
Well, I mean, so you don't feel, or you're not afraid of being vulnerable then? Yes, as an actor, I guess that is something.
No, I think that's part of being an actor, is like running face first into that and playing out the things on screen that you're too afraid to do in real life, really. So yeah, sure. my career, how about that?
Well, there's something really interesting. You've got that very first scene with the eggs. It's such a great little character beat for both of you. Tell me a little bit about forming the relationship, behind the scenes. How long was your rehearsal period? Did you get to hang out? But tell me a little bit about bonding to play these characters who have
we didn't really hang out, but I mean, what you have when you have actors is they're used to uncovering almost right away, with each other if they trust one another, and there's no reason not to. It's actually after the fact you find out later that, oh well, that guy, I wouldn't work with him again, or oh that guy's a cheater, he's a liar, that kind of thing can happen once in a while, but mostly. If it's been well cast and you are a couple of responsible actors, I mean, Julia is one of the greats. It's a pleasure. It's a presumptive joy to go to work. You just go, bang! I can't wait to kind of cover up this, cover this one, figure it out, uncover this one rather, and look, there's a kind of generosity of spirit that has to come along for the ride. If you're a selfish actor, you're in the wrong business.
100%.
Do you have? Do you have improv backgrounds? Do you, does it depend on the director, or do you always go, let's mix it up, let's add to this, like the script is done, but we still want to keep on going?
Not with this one. This one was very wordy, but it was all on the page. So I think we're all respectful of that. Yeah, I don't, and I tend to, I mean, I would love to do something improvisational, but I tend to be very obedient and respectful of the writer or director and just be like, if there's any, I tend to try and be word perfect.
I'm sort of the same.
Well, thank you both so much. The movie is fantastic. Kelsey, I assume I'll be talking to you again next week.
Probably.
And it's a pleasure to meet you, Julia. Thank you so much.